Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for the final session here in qualifying for One Hub Racing. Of course, my name is Everybody Mike. I'll be taking you through the action, and joined along with me, he's back once again, is Ace Harvey. Ace, how are you doing, mate?
Good. Hoping to see another good session, as I've just seen Jimmy and the Matter join in again. How are you again, Mike?
I am doing great. Obviously, in terms of lap time, it looks like it's going to be a very competitive grid for the admins to place drivers into the tiers. And of course, as you mentioned, Jamie joining the session as well. He'll be back in the session, joining us on comms. So, Jamie, welcome back.
Hello guys, yeah, very happy to be back, and yeah, should be good. We've got some very quick times so far. Obviously, we've had two guys very close to each other at the front, and quite a bit of a gap behind. So yeah, obviously we've only got the 16 drivers in this lobby, but still going to be plenty of action, and there's a few drivers I'm very familiar with in this tier, especially the guy in the McLaren, J.R. Mason, who obviously I shared a team with in season 12, and he obviously had that season 21, he had that amazing win at the Austrian Grand Prix, and we won the Constructors Championship together, and I obviously won the Drivers' Championship in the P4 tier.
Absolutely, and of course, J.R. Mason, a driver that very familiar here in One Hub, and obviously we're all familiar with him, and hopefully he sets the times right here, as he's been incredible improvements over the course of his racing experience, and in One Hub he's shown massive improvements over time.
Yeah, definitely. It should be a good one to see, as we've seen a lot of guys coming out. Obviously, I seem to see a few more guys starting to come out on the softs at start session, which is good to see. Obviously, early in the session, we had a lot of guys come out on means, but the majority of guys are now coming out on softs. And I think they've learnt the lesson that if you set harder strategy, you get 5 sets of softs.
Yeah, absolutely. Nicola Solo is back once again. I don't believe we got any new drivers apart from J.R. Mason and Casper. I think Kingjin is also a new driver that hasn't set any laps.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Sorry. No, obviously, King's a very experienced driver, obviously part of the management team, and also one of the stewards for this season. And yeah, obviously he's very much familiar with Williams' car, him and Jess, obviously a fellow head of commentators and management team member. They like to share the Williams car together, so I wonder if they two will be paired together in the Williams again this season.
Well, I had Williams last season, P3 tier, when I had them for commentary. They were very good overall, and good to see them racing together in that Williams. Being, well, Williams fans overall, I know Jess tried to get cap signed by Sargent 2 weeks ago while we were at Silverstone, which I don't think, unfortunately, had worked out.
Well, that is unfortunate, but currently out on a flying lap, we got Nicola Solo, who is going through cops right now. Will be the first driver to set a lap time in the session. And what I was going to say is it's going to be interesting to see how Casper, J.R. Mason and Kingjin set times relative to what we've seen so far, because everyone in this lobby, apart from those three, they've had a few sessions, they've had time to get their eyes in on this track, and it's going to be interesting to see how they approach it.
Yeah, they've had time to fine-tune their setups, time to perfect their craft, and obviously you get a lot of laps. You get 5 goals at a flying lap really is called that session. That's a lot of laps, and the other guys are a bit behind, but it's a track where you can pick up quite. It's a track about confidence. If you're confident, like Nicola is there, 25.6 off the bat, that is incredible lap time. As Collins is a 26.1, we're getting fast times already at the start of the session. Yeah, it's a confidence track. I think these two are showing excellent confidence, the first two guys to that lap time.
Yeah, as J.R. Mason there with a 27.7, good opening lap from him. Lukey there on a 26.6 on the set in the medium, so Maybe we'll see a new PB from Lukey as Larkin goes up into third with a 26.5.
Yeah, not bad that. Lukey, 26.6 for him. I think I also just saw Matthias, 27.2. If I'm right, this is Gerard Mason's first time racing with his new seat.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
I believe it is.
Yeah, he got it over the weekend, obviously, as a prize from One Up Racing. It's great to see him, obviously, winning that. And yeah, that's quite a good lap for him off the bat, 27.7. That's quite a good lap at start session. I'm quite impressed by how good that lap is. And maybe
For
he can maybe
Banco, it's
sneak in
not
the
bad.
26s. No, yeah, exactly.
I think when the Mapper joined, by the way, he instantly got a DNF for some reason.
Yeah,
I'm not
his
sure on that
name's
one.
greyed out. So yeah, see, he was in the last session, he said a good time, so he's got a good time already, but he feels like he can improve, and sadly for him, unless he can jump to another car somehow, then he's not going to be able to improve
Oh, in this session.
session. Yeah.
Trying to jump on board with someone who is on a flying lap. I mean, Lukey is just getting the tyres warmed up, I think, and probably not on a flying lap right now. Casper out there, he's done a 26.4 opening lap. Fatality with a 26.3 opening lap as well. So, I mean, as you mentioned, quick times off the bat for all these drivers in the session.
Yeah, definitely, and to the track we're going up as the session progresses, as see a car taking an interesting line coming through the Ferraris. I think that might be Lukey getting out of the way through Stowe there, but yeah, it's quite impressive already. Nicola with 25.6 early on, you have to say. You feel like maybe he was disappointing last time, and I think he's almost matched his time already. As Lukey, he's done loads of laps. I think Lukey must have the record for most laps done today. He's been in every session, and
Hasn't he hosted every session?
Yeah, he has. Yeah. He's taken advantage of that, of course. Nicolo is out for another attempt. Not a lot of guys are in the pit lane. It's quite interesting. We've got Ghost, Conzo, Quinn, and Nicolo out laps. And I believe the first guy to probably start a flying lap will be the Red Bull of Quinn, I believe, on the soft tyre.
Yeah, unless Lukey is saving up to go again, it will be Quinn, but we'll have to wait and see. And in fact, I think Lukey's ran out of fuel, so yeah, it'll definitely be Quinn here as he's going to be gearing himself up to get a lap time on the board, and we're going to see what he can do in that Red Bull. Is he going to be able to replicate the real life Red Bull's pace here?
It's very rapid as he's slowing down and going to come through Club Corner and out start flying lap in the Red Bull racing machine. Approaching Abbey, obviously a high speed corner, 8th gear. He's done that quite nicely through Farm, and he's going to break first braking zone into Village, down to 3rd gear, quite nicely into the loop. It's quite easy to make a mistake here, but it looks quite solid so far from him as he's going to go through Aintree and down the Wellington Straight approaching Brooklands. This is the corner where you can see a lot of overtaking in the race, but in this multiple lines can work for you. He's going for hitting the apex quite early there. He's going to take a late apex through Lutfield, through you go downward, cut down the old National Pit Straight. Obviously still pit lane straight for a lot of national events, but not for F1 anymore. Approaching Cops, 8th gear, slight lift, a little bit wide, invalidated lap.
Yeah, just turned in a little bit too early there, I think, from Quinn.
Yeah.
And it looks like Conzo has managed to get his wheel working, because he is out there on track right now, and that is brilliant for him, because obviously in the last session he wasn't able to set a lap time because of his wheel issues.
So he's getting back into F1 again. Let's see how he does. I'm still in the memes here, so this will not be a lap time which will count officially, but just get his eye on iron, I guess, and you can still get a good feeling on how quick they go on the mediums, for how quick they'll be for a session. As he seems a little bit, as he doesn't seem the most confident through the last few corners there, and it's 1:30, so that wasn't really a representative lap. I believe he's going to start one now.
Yeah, absolutely. As he goes through Village, Farm and Abbey in the wrong order, I might add that I mentioned them, but through those first three corners, now through a loop and looking for a good exit now through Entry. DRS wide open, heading down the Rutland Straight. Let's see what the first sector split is saying. It's going to be a 27.6 in the first sector. Obviously 9 tenths up on his previous lap time as we head through Brooklands and left field. All about the exit here out of left field. Getting on the throttle nice and early now through Woodcote. Nice tight line through here. And now Cops Corner. All about getting your turning right. Getting the line right. Keeping the pace high. And that is as neat as you're going to see it done there from Conzo as we head into Maggots and Beckett's. And obviously not attacking the curbs as much as you would like to see through Maggots and Beckett's. But out of Chapel, he's near enough 2 seconds up as he heads down in towards Stowe, and we're going to see how he handles this corner indeed as he keeps it all valid once again there. So it is going to be an improved lap time from Conzo as he comes through Club to the line now, and it's going to be a 27.4 on the set of the medium, so a good opener for Conzo to build up a bit of confidence around you. As Lapland there with a 25.5.
Yeah, that's beat his time from the first session.
Matthias getting all on the curb and the exit of Cops, just unfortunately lost the rear end eventually on that. But
unfortunate
Lapland's time. Very good.
Yeah, I think Lapland has seen the lap times that are coming so far, and he wants to try and beat them. He wants to see if he can get into the 24s.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for him. Yeah, as Matthias obviously hot tyres, there's haven't cooled down. I believe Matthias will probably come to pits because his tyres will be shot now. You can only, on these soft tyres, you can only really get one flying lap on them because the tyre wear in practice is a lot more significant than the tyre wear in qualifying because of the lack of track conditions as yet is coming in the pits now.
Yeah, as
Conzo spins it in Chapel. He was on another push lap on the mediums
as well. Just completely cut out Beckett's.
Yeah, I think
he's
out of fuel, I believe, and he's coming into the pits.
2.8 tenths up for Loki, in towards Stowe, keeping it in 7th gear, dropping it on a 6th very abruptly, but getting through Vale in 3rd gear, getting through Club, getting back on the par. I don't know if he'll actually improve in this lap, because it looks slow through the final sector, but he does improve by 2.7 tenths, goes into the .4s, up into P5, that one.
Of course, it's a Ferrari teammate in this session, Casper out there on an outlap, Larkin on an outlap as well, as is Ghost, JR Mason, and of course the twin. We've got Kinjan, who I believe is making a very late call to come into the pit lane.
He invalidated at Stowe there, and obviously he was past the pit entry line when he invalidated, and he just cut across. And obviously in the race he won't be able to do that, but in qualifying now it doesn't really matter. But in a race or qualifying, and he probably won't be able to do that because he could easily knock somebody off the track. But obviously with the collisions off, and we sort of let that fly a little bit in the qualifying sessions.
On board with JR Mason, just taking a little bit too much of the inside curve there at the Village, and that's just unsettled him slightly on approach into the loop, and I think he's backed out of it already. Yeah, once you lose several tenths in the corner, you're never going to get that back, and you're just wise to back out of it and maybe save the tyres, save the battery to go for another fine lap if you can. But he's still got hot lap on now, so yeah, maybe he's just want to feel how this second sector goes, come back in, push for the rest of his lap and come back and see how the car feels the rest of the lap maybe. Essentially, as Quinn there on the exit of left field and now going down the National Straight in towards Cops. And he's going to be looking to keep it valid. This time he does keep it valid, and he stays within the track limits now into Maggots and Beckett. What can Quinn do? And he cuts the
That's
corner.
invalid. Yeah, that was a clear cut.
Absolutely butchered the corner right there, did RDR Quinn, but as JR Mason comes back into the pits, Ghost is cooled down. Larkin on an invalidated lap one. We've got Casper who's still going out there. It looks to be all valid so far, so we'll stay on board with Casper in the middle sector split. He's 3 tenths up, so RDR Casper absolutely flying right now.
Yeah, Casper obviously a guy who raced the PTT last season, had some good results, had a win I believe, and he's obviously back for more, and he can join his pals in the low 26s here. They were all seem to be in that lap time. All the guys that raced over last season seem to be all close again in this game, and that's a 25.9, a good lap there by Casper, getting them 25s. Larkin, I believe, invalidated his lap. He proved his lap, but it was invalid.
Yeah, unfortunately for Larkin, but he knows he's got the time out there. And Casper, brilliant lap so far, straight into the 25s, and of course with what we've seen so far in the qualifying night, it seems that a 25 gives you a good opportunity to get yourselves into the top tier here at One Hub.
Yeah, Specialist just improved there by 10th, yep, to a 26.5.
Colin improves by 10th and off, but marginally up through sector 2, but he's just set apparently fastest sector 3 on that lap. I don't know if
that'd be
still
fastest
glitched
for him. Yeah, that'd be fastest for his personal sector. But Nicola on an outlap, obviously faster in sector 1 in the previous lap, and of course on a 25.6. Nicola and Lapland definitely look like they definitely improved in that for this session, and they are absolutely flying out there right now. Nicola middle sector, marginally down, marginally up, sorry, 4 thousandths of a second up as we approach Stowe, and Nicola out of DRS. Yeah, now here's where it's going to hinder you the most now, because if you run out of ERS there, you're just hemorrhaging time for this final sector, and that is not what you want.
Backed out of it. Yeah, he's backed out of it there. He wasn't happy. He must have known it was down there. He's backed out of it, and he's back in the overtake again. But he's got no battery left, so surely he's got to come in the pits now and just go again, because he's never going to get that battery back. Because Lapland's on the time. He's slightly down in the first sector, only by a couple of hundredths though, so he's still find time to improve in the middle sector.
Well, speaking of improvement, Konzo improved with a 26.3, popping himself up into 5th as it currently stands. Lapland though through Cop's corner, and honestly this is looking very smooth and very quick from Lapland so far, as we wait to see what this middle sector split's saying, taking a good amount of curb and keeping it all valid through Magus and Beckus, but marginally down in the middle sector. Can Lapland find anything in the final sector to improve the lap time here?
Yeah, you can get a good... You can gain time in this last sector for sure, because you definitely lose time as well. The sector you more lose time rather than gain time. So it seems to be quite nice food there. So he's going to take a tight line here, is he? He's going to run it for a wide, and yes, he does improve. He gained 2 tenths in the last sector, so it's a 25.5.02. So he's about half a second off the quickest time overall tonight, and again he's taking his creative lines back to the pits.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, as you mentioned, he gained about 2 tenths in that final sector, so if he nails it, he could be on for a 25.3, which is pretty competitive with the quickest times that we've seen in all 4 sessions so far.
Definitely.
So I'm on board with Fatality, who's just started a flying lap, DRS wide open down the Wellington Straight, and we are going to see what this first sector saying is a 10th up in the first sector, and through Brooklands and left field, good traction on the exit from Fatality, and it's going to be looking for a improvement. Maybe they're trying to sneak into the 25s if Fatality can find enough time here, but through Cops, very clean indeed from Fatality. Now Maggots and Beckett's got a car ahead of him, cannot afford to get distracted by that car. Looks to be all hooked up through Maggots and Beckett's, and on the exit of Chapel, very good as well, and he's 3.5 temps up.
Yeah, great middle set. That Friday gets going nicely for him, and yeah, he's on track to be in them 25s. If he can just match his previous last sector, he'll be very close to it. He'll be around where Colin and our Mason is, I believe. If he just gets a solid last sector going. He seemed a bit slow into there, though. Not quite sure.
So the line, and there's a 25. It's a 25.9 for Fatality. Good lap from him.
Yeah, I presume into club he just sacrificed the entry for a great exit, because he got a great exit through there. And yeah, that is an incredibly good lap time of Vitality. And yeah, we see a lot of the guys in this session improving. I think they're starting to fine-tune their setups, and they're finding the maximum possible from their capabilities.
Absolutely, as Larkin coming through Cops makes a mess of that corner, takes too much inside curb and runs right. It is somehow still a valid lap time as we come through Maggots, Beckett's and exit Chapel here. Is he up on his time? He's marginally down, he's 1,000th off his time.
Yeah, we know I think on the last lap he made a bit of a mistake in the last sector, so if he gets that sort of right, he can improve. Here we go through the final couple of corners through club now. It's quite a long corner. This he don't know when to put the throttle on, and he just slightly improved by a couple of hundredths. I think Larkin maybe found his wall a bit in the 25s.
Yeah, Larkin, I mean, as we know from previous seasons in One Hub, Larkin's always been a very quick driver, but I can't lie, in the sessions that we've seen him so far, it's been quite underwhelming from him so far. Maybe not getting attuned to this game yet.
No, yeah, obviously we know it's obviously the game is slightly different. Obviously we know attraction's a lot different on this game, and maybe he's just struggling to get accustomed to it. As we see on these instances, he just doesn't seem as confident as we know he can be on the previous versions of the game. But I think he'll get there. He'll get there because he's a good driver. And good drivers always get there in the end. It may take time, but he'll definitely get there and improve.
It's our old saying, isn't it? The cream always rises to the top.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of the cream, Collins had a good middle set there. He's a 10.5 up, so maybe this could be the lap that puts him in the 25.8s. As he... Yeah.
We are going to see, as he's only got Vale and Club to go. See, breaks down through Vale, now through a Club, and it's all about what Colin can do here to the line. And it's going to be a 25.803 from Colin R. Mason.
I think he'll be very happy with that lap time. I think he'll be delighted with that. Not that far off the top guy in this session, and yeah, he's aiming to get top tier, and I think that time will probably put him in the top tier.
Ali B with an improvement as well, moving up into 7th for a 26.3. Good improvements from the Alpha Tauri as well. Aero Specialist, we saw a marginal improvement from him in terms of his lap time. We've got Konzo out there on a outlap now, but he's just invalidated through Cops. Matthias...
He's just improved. He's just finished a lap. He's improved by 3 temps to 26.9.
He's still got like 70%, so he might be going for another lap. He is on hot lap.
Or maybe that was an old lap. Yeah, maybe that was an old lap I saw, because sometimes they show you old lap from. Yeah, he's definitely pushing, so maybe this is a push lap for him. Yeah, he's a bit wide there, that's invalid.
He's pushed too hard, and JR Mason to the line running out of deployment, but it's going to be a marginal improvement for JR Mason, 2,000, so a second improvement there.
Yeah, it's good to see him getting up to speed a bit more.
Now, Lukey, the man who's had the most practice out of everyone, currently on a 26.3. Is he going to be finding any improvements here? And he does. He goes a 26 flat. Have we seen Lukey in the 25s yet?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's been in them. He's been consistently in them low 26s, but he's got time to come in again, stick a fresh set of tyres on, and maybe getting them 25s. He needs to improve by tyres and margins. But when you get to this sort of lap time where you're close to it, it's so difficult to improve because you have to sort of nail every corner. And if you mess one corner up, it's so difficult to get the time back. So once you get to your capabilities, as you know, that's the hardest it can be to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see, we got just over 5 minutes to go in the session. Specialist is out there on out lap right now. Ghost has just come out of the pits on out lap. And it's going to be interesting to see if Specialist and Ghost can improve. Because I don't think I've seen Ghost in the 26s yet. I think he's going to be aiming to try and do that on this lap now coming up. And Specialist, he's not a mile away from breaching the 25s.
No. I think Ghost is capable of 26, but he just hasn't hooked it up altogether yet. We'll wait and see.
That we will, and we're still on board with Specialist because he'll be the first one to start a lap. As I believe we've got a Ferrari of, I believe that's probably Casper coming out of the pits right now. And yeah, it is, and Specialist will be starting a lap. So, I'm gonna allow one of you two to take us through a lap here with Specialist.
Okay. So we're going through Abbey Corner now, quite a flat out corner now. The session's built up through Farm and then approaching the first braking zone, the Village. Hook up quite nicely there, and then the Loop, which is quite a long, frustrating corner as a driver. It's so easy to lose traction, break traction, and I want to enter easy flat, leading onto the first DRS straight up the Wellington straight now, approaching the first braking zone, the Brooklands. What sort of line you're going to take here is you're going to take quite a late apex and into Luffield, quite an early apex there, and the second apex, yeah, it's a little bit wide there, but not too bad through. And we approach the Cops Corner. It's a flat-out corner, such an epic corner, one of the best corners, one of the best sections of Formula 1 approach now here. Cops Corner, flat-out, a little bit on the curb, and didn't do the best one through Cops there. Approaching Maggot, Beckett, here in the second part of Beckett's, and through Chapel here. So he's wide through here into the grass, but does it alright there. But I don't think this is the best lap for him. He's slightly up, but he made a big mistake into Cops. Now we're going to approach Stowe Corner now. He's gonna do Stowe quite nicely. I think he might gain some time back there. Now we're going to approach into the Club Vale, and the Club, such a long corner for the Club. Where do you put your throttle on? So you do it quite nice. I think this will improve. Yeah, good final sector there, but I think he lost some time in Cops Corner. He just hit the curb and it unsettled him a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, and I am really surprised that that stayed valid through Cops, because honestly, in actual race conditions, that would be looked at as an additional track limit warning if the game doesn't award it.
Yeah, as you know, sometimes I noticed tonight the track limits are very inconsistent at some corners. Like, you can go if you go a millimetre off at Cops, you get an evaluation. But if you turn in, if you miss it completely, you can still be valid. It's a bit strange, but I think the track limits have improved in the game. So I think it's still not 100% correct.
Well, I'm going to show my age here. I remember way back in the days on F1 98, back when you could just at Monaco could just completely cut the Novell chicane.
Oh yeah,
and it was beautiful.
I remember I used to do that in Melbourne. You used to have that chicane, halfway on the lap that got rid of that. I used to straight line that completely. That's what we're trying to do now in real life, to be fair.
Casper unable to find an improved lap time there. Obviously, I believe that's going to be the session over and done with for him. Specialist has managed to save up the ERS, so he is going to go again here. So we'll see if he can improve on that mistake. Larkin out there on the lap, and he's marginally up. Actually, no, he is down in the first sector. and he's not really pushing. He
No,
might be
he
hard pressed.
should. Yeah, he should get around to start again, but he's got to put his foot down. He can't afford to be too slow. He should get around to start his flying lap. I think he'll be the last guy on the flying lap.
Goes into the pits. His session's over and done with. JR Mason just crossed the line. He has improved on the 27.5, so a good lap from him. We got your former teammate in Ols, currently on a 28.1. Of course, taking off his assists on this game. Maybe not familiar with the braking and turning in points around this circuit yet, though I do maintain it is the... if you're going to learn a track no assist, this is probably one of those tracks where it is one of the easier ones to learn. You just need to put a bit of time in.
Yeah, because there's not really many tractionals here. You don't really brake that much on there. So yeah, I do agree with that. And I believe he did the 27.8 in the last session, so he's obviously a bit down on this lap. So yeah, I do agree with that. Obviously, because this track, there's not really many brake zones or traction zones, so it probably is one of the easiest ones to learn in terms of no assists.
Yeah, as Fatality crosses the line, and not an improvement there for Fatality. We have a McLaren of Specialist coming to the line now, and then we got the a Specialist has lost it through club. Too greedy on the throttle and around the McLaren goes.
Lukey's on a good lap. He's up 10th. This may get him in the 25s.
And we're going to see Lukey to the line. As checker flag has fallen, and he is in the 25s. There we go. Lukey has achieved it. 25.9 for Lukey. As Konzo now to the line, and he's going to be marginally down. He'll be into the pits. Colin Mason backed off, and I think that is the end of the session.
Again. Yeah, Colin improved at the end there for 25.7, so be even happy with that. Colin will be quite impressed by Colin's up there. That's quite an impressive lap for him. Not too far off the top in this session, but obviously nowhere near that 24.9 we saw earlier from Zhao. That's the quickest time of the night. And yeah, this has been qualifying night, and like you guys, it's been a pleasure being in the comment box with you two. And obviously Colin joined us earlier, and yeah, it's been quite a good night. And yeah, obviously now the hard work begins. Obviously I'm now part of the admin team, and we've got to try and somehow figure out what tier to place all these guys in.
I tell you what, I do not envy the job of you and the rest of the admins placing these guys, because they are incredibly tightly contested. So a lot of drivers doing high 25s, and a lot of drivers in the low 26s as well. Going to be difficult to split those drivers into tiers. But before we wrap things up tonight, we will run you guys through the order one last time as we wait for the final results to come in here for session number 4 here in qualifying. And here we go. It is Lapland with a 25.5. Nicola Solo in second with a 25.6, 25.7 for Colin Mason, Casper on a 25.9, Lukey on a 25.9, Fatality on a 25.9, Specialist on a 26.3, 26.3 for Ali B, and the same for Konzo as well. In 9th, 10th is Quinn on a 0.4, 0.5 for Larkin, Matthias on a 0.9 in the 26th. Then we've got the 27s of Ghost on a 0.3 and JR Mason on a 0.5. And then the final two were Ols on a 28.1 and Kingjin on a 28.3. And that is going to bring an end to a qualifying night here in One Hub Racing. Of course, in terms of what we're going to see next, Jimmy, I'll let you inform everyone what will be coming up very soon.
Yeah, over the next day or two, we'll be analysing all these drivers' pace. We'll be working out tier placements. Then on Tuesday night, I believe, me and Jess will be hosting a stream where we will announce the tiers, and then after that, the team contracts will open, and obviously that's where I'm going to get very busy, because that's when all the drivers will apply for their teams and teammates for the season. Obviously, want to get the tiers. And then next Sunday, we will start racing. We'll have the pre-season races, and obviously all our fantastic commentators will get an opportunity to commentate in that. And obviously at the Bahrain circuit, that'll be our first chance to see all the drivers in racing action this season. It's our first One Hub race in about 6 months, and I tell you what, I cannot wait for the season to begin. And as I say earlier, Mike and Ace, it's been a pleasure sharing the comms box with you two, and we will see you in a few days for the tier announcements.
Yep. Ace, you got anything to add on that before we wrap things up? I don't think Ace is there, right? So we'll wrap things up here. Thank you to everyone that has tuned into the stream tonight. Make sure to stay tuned for One Hub Racing for all the action, and of course make sure you are around for the tier announcements in 2 days' time. But until then, guys, I've been Mike. He's been Jamie Met, and of course we've had Ace Harvey with us and Colin as well. Until next time, guys, good night and have a good one.